Oh my, good morning, good morning, good morning. Crazy Cat Mama is starting to instigate. Good morning. So let's see. Good morning, Crazy Cat Mama. Who's the first? Jody, who's here early. Thank you for your attendance this morning. LRM, good morning. Cyber Hotline, good morning. I did receive your DM and I've got it down. So I'll be taking a look at that. So, good morning, good morning, good morning. First of all, I wanted to bring up we have a missing teen. He's male. I'm going to show you guys that. And then we're going to discuss Nova Scotia's home for colored kids. Yeah, this is a story that you don't want to miss. Good morning, Scottish Deborah. And then, well, before the Nova Scotia, we're going to look at Lover, Stalker, Killer. I don't know if you guys have watched that on Netflix. I remember hearing about that story. Good morning, dirty bitch. Good morning. She said, what the fuck? Wow. Hi, HB. So I wanted to mention something too, and I'm glad Cooch is here. I was in Cooch's live yesterday, and believe it or not, I managed to listen just about the whole time because I was intrigued with what was being said. So good morning, Moonlight 62. Cooch played JY and Angela, part 2. And then I heard in the background that Michael was I was gonna interview Michael, which everybody remembers. I was live that day, and I've been live for a while, and I got the message that he might be interested in having me interview him. So, regardless of what you may think, John, I did not reach out to Michael. It was brought to me, and I said if he was willing to do the interview, I would be willing to have him on. This had nothing to do with you. This was a hot topic, and I found out about it early that day before I went live because I had a live set. I ended one live because I didn't want to put the messy with what I was discussing. So regardless of what you think, I don't think about you. I don't care. And common sense, if everybody was watching, they saw I read the message that came to me. Since that time, I have not received another message, nor have I tried to reach out or find him. Good morning, Maria. Good morning, Christoph. So, yep, we were all here listening. So if he does decide to be interviewed, whether it's my channel or anyone else's channel, I'm going to be there to hear what he has to say. Good morning, Grass Toucher. So this has nothing to do with trying to get back at you because I don't care. I don't know how many times I have to say that. I don't care. So again, let's make sure that we get the information correct. I didn't go seeking anything. Good morning, pals. Good morning. Welcome. So that's all I have to say on that. But I just wanted to clarify that. Okay. I just wanted to clarify that. Because putting that information out is like horrible. I'm doing it to get back at him. What the fuck? No, I don't care. So, 90 days not alone in tanks cannot be parked in New Jersey. That's all I'm going to say on that. But we all saw that Michael came out with the statement, and he made sure to be to be by a blank wall to let everyone know that he's not on any social media. So he says he's not on any social media. And like I stated, when I didn't hear anything back, I do believe that someone is working with him. And I do believe that he's got representation. So when and if he does do that, whatever channel he's on, well, I'm not going to say whatever channel, because some channels I just won't go into. But wherever he decides to do that interview, I will be there listening. So that's just it. And I'm looking into that green card situation because they were married and he's supposed to get that automatically but I'm going to look and see. I'm going to have to do that research. Good morning, Snake. Good morning, Sassy Susie. So, and then something else occurred to me after, and I think I put it in, I think it was Cooch's live or Maria and Ann's live when they were talking about it the other day, when she was talking about this man that was with, that married this cancer victim just for a green card, but everybody sees the picture of her daughter who has blonde hair. That really stung me because you're up there accusing someone of wanting someone's daughter when you have a whole damn child molester living in your home. Let's not throw stuff at, when you living in a glass house. Don't do that. You made yourself look bad. You made yourself look bad. So you insinuated this man wanted this woman's daughter because she has blonde hair. That's not out of my mouth. That's out of yours. Open mouth, insert foot. Good morning, Mr. Jimenez. Okay, I got that off my chest. Good morning, Christoph. I got that off my chest. Got it off my chest. Okay. Whew. So we have a missing Amber Alert for a young man out of Sumter County. He left his home on Sunday, the 25th, with a flashlight, and he was wearing a black jogging suit. So my thing is, I know kids will go out and looking for frogs and stuff, especially in that area. So he has not been seen. He's disappeared into thin air. He's 15 years old. So let me add this to the screen for you guys. And let me get over here so you can see this. Whew.
8 hours here since Sebastian Rogers disappeared from his Sumner County home. And tonight, an Amber Alert has been issued for this 15-year-old. He has a form of autism. Again, missing since Sunday night. Crews are doing everything they can to search for him. Our Sharon Dankwa spoke with family and friends tonight at a prayer vigil, hoping to see a miracle.
I just don't understand how a child just disappears into thin air. I just don't get it.
Kenny Bird is talking about 15-year-old Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, an autistic 5'5" teenager. County, city, and state agencies have spent nearly 2 days scouring Sumner County for.
Oh, I mean, it's just sad.
Police say Sebastian walked out of his Shackle Island home Sunday night carrying a flashlight and wearing a black sweatsuit.
These people are like my family. I mean, literally, they're like some of Sebastian's family members are my family.
Hi, Maria.
So I directly feel this completely.
Monday night, neighbors and church leaders spent hours praying for Sebastian to be found.
That he would be safe, and that he would continue to comfort family and friends and even us.
His parents say Sebastian loved playing hide and seek.
And we can only attempt to imagine what they're walking through. So we'll pray specifically for them.
So while police search through yards, sheds, and trees,
we're going to do everything we can do as a community to support the family and the first responders
by offering to help search and lifting up prayers, fighting back the feeling of being helpless.
You hear about this stuff on TV, but you don't think it's going to happen in your own backyard. That's just,
No, you
it's
don't.
just, I don't know. It's awful.
For WSMV4, I'm Sharon Dinkwa.
So
Say Sebastian could be anywhere. He likes to hide in small spaces, so they're searching every nook and cranny they can think of, including drainage culverts and people's cars. They're hoping the community.
this is
will
out
be
of
able to
Tennessee.
help.
My urge to the public right now would be to check your home videos and stay rested, because when the call comes, we'll put it out on social media, and that's when we'll need you to come.
Authorities say Sebastian's favorite song is Eye of the Tiger, so they've been blasting the song as part of their search to
Oh
try
my
and
God.
calm him and let him know that they're there to help. Our WSMV4 Today team will let you know about any new developments in the search for Sebastian starting at 4 a.m.
Okay, so he's 15 years old. He went missing Sunday night. He left his home with a flashlight, and that tells me he was going looking for something. So this is a rural area where he's at. And the fact that they're blasting his favorite song, the fact that they're looking at nooks and crannies, they know he likes to hide out. But today is the 2nd. I looked this morning. There was still no update on that story. Good morning, Savage. I was waiting for my live. No, that's not true. I was passed out. I didn't wake up until like 7 something. So if you guys are out in the Tennessee area, if you can put this on your social media stuff, and I know there's a lot of people out there looking for this young man. And the fact that he has autism really, really scares me. Really, really scares me. And then we have the Amish woman, 23 years old, Rebecca Byler, that was caged in her home. Someone broke in her home, caged her. You're going to hear she had bruises and stuff on her face, but it also said that she was pew-pew. They're saying that this was a case of mistaken identity. Really? You break into an Amish person's home, and this woman was 23 years old, and she was pregnant. Pregnant. So they have someone arrested. And let me get there. Good morning, G14. Good morning. I forgot that I really wanted to discuss that. So they have the daughter, the woman that he raised, the young woman that he raised, and she is talking. She was pregnant by her husband. She's Amish. Amish. I said Amish. She's Amish. She was pregnant by her husband. He found her. Okay? He found her. So let's just listen to this, and then we're going to get on to
Days after a pregnant Amish woman is murdered in her home, her alleged killer is behind bars. Jennifer Mobilia was the first to report this murder. She joins us live in Corey. Jen.
Yeah, Brianna, a woman that claims to be the suspect's daughter spoke to me earlier today. She believes that this murder was a case of mistaken identity.
So she's thinking her daddy, her father, is not the person that did it. And when I first heard it, I'm like, how do you mistake breaking into an Amish person's home? But she's saying that her father is identified incorrectly. So I was waiting to tell you guys that, because when I first heard it, I was like, what the hell?
Now, we do want to warn you that some of the new details we are learning tonight are very disturbing. This is the man state police say killed 23-year-old Rebecca Byler. He's 52-year-old Sean Cranston from Corey. He was arrested Friday night outside the Dollar General store right next to his home.
It was crazy. I've never seen so much law enforcement at once. Never once.
According to court paperwork, Cranston allegedly broke into Byler's home in Sparta Township Monday, shot her in the head, and slashed her throat. As you can see, crime scene tape.
So when you read the newspaper article, you only hear that she had bruises and she was stabbed. When you listen to this, you get the full story.
It still surrounds Cranston's home here in Corey on Main Street. I spoke with a woman who says Cranston was her foster dad growing up. That woman is in her 20s now and has children of her own, but says Cranston is the only father she has ever known. She was visibly upset and did not want to be on camera.
Like, I could never picture my dad being that cold and heartless of a monster. Never in a million years.
The morning of the murder, neighbors reported seeing a red Jeep in Byler's driveway. Friday night, a red Jeep was towed from Cranston's home.
As far as I know, he just wanted his grandson back.
Cranston's daughter believes the murder was a case of mistaken identity. She says the Amish couple that lived in Byler's home a few years ago.
See, now we get to the story. Now we're going to the fact where they're saying that he killed the woman by mistake because he wanted his grandson back because someone else was living in the home that they now occupy. So this story just took me all over the place. I'm like, wait a minute. Is he mistaken identity or was the woman mistaken identity? But now we hear again that Rebecca was killed. It was mistaken identity, but you left her 2 kids there unharmed. And she was pregnant. This is crazy.
Adopted his grandson.
Supposedly, she started yelling at him coming in, and that's when, boom, all it took. And it's just horrifying to think that.
Cranston has been charged with criminal homicide of an unborn child, burglary, and criminal trespass. And Cranston remains behind bars tonight in the Crawford County Jail. I can tell you earlier today, we went back and spoke to neighbors near Byler's home. And while the community is still in mourning over Rebecca's death, there's definitely a sigh of relief that her alleged killer is behind bars tonight. Brianna?
So you break in a home because you want your grandson back. Do you know, unless you went to court and the judge give you visitation rights or anything else, and if that child was in, you had some type of guardianship, you have no rights. You have no rights. So you broke into someone's home because you want your grandson back, and you pew-pewed this woman and cut her throat while her 2 kids were in the home. And she's pregnant with her 3rd. Okay, got you. Oh my God, yes, I've gotten lots of rest. I've gotten lots of rest. And I'm really thinking about working from home for the week. But I don't know. It depends on the weather. But who was he kidnapping? Because the child wasn't there. Who was he kidnapping? You killed an innocent woman. Her husband finds her and her 2 kids are in the home. Her 2 little kids are in the home. Come on now. You think that's going to get you your grandson back? But again, it's a case of mistaken identity. It's what they're calling it. But if you were that goddamn smart, which we see you weren't, you would have known that those people did not have your grandchild. They had their own children. So I asked a question, and before we get into Nova Scotia's home for colored kids, I'm going to show you this video on YouTube about the abuse that these kids suffered. The lawsuit that came out of that. Over 300 kids abused. And they each receive $34 million. And I don't think that's compensation for being raped, beaten, severely beaten. But I'm going to show you these survivors because it goes into what I'm going to be doing next week. So, but before that, how many of you watch Lover, Stalker, Killer on Netflix. This case was, oh my God. I remember hearing about this case way back when. And then I didn't realize that this was the case that my producer brought to my attention. So when I'm watching it, I'm like, oh my God, I remember this. So you got to watch it. But I'm just going to give you a brief synopsis, but you need to see it for yourself. Okay. You really need to see it for yourself. So I'm going to put this up. At the center of all of this, right here, is Dave Krupa. Okay. Dave was with a woman named Amy Flora for years. They met when they both worked at a truck stop. Okay. That's when they met. She started working there. He thought she was cute and they started dating. They had 2 kids together. Well, Amy and Dave grew apart. Amy decides to move back to her hometown of Omaha. Dave was like, he didn't want to be that far away from his kids, so he moved with her. Wrong emoji. So then Dave goes on Plenty of Fish. Okay? He goes on Plenty of Fish. And he meets Liz right here, the crazy looking one with the black hair. You know, they meet, they go out on a date, they have sex. Dave tells her he's not looking for anything serious. He just want to have fun. So they were going out, meeting at bars, drinking, blah, blah, blah. So then he gets back on the dating app, Plenty of Fish. He meets beautiful Carrie right here. He meets beautiful Carrie. Carrie is a single mother. She doesn't work too far from where he lived. She doesn't work too far from where he lived. Yes, from where he lived, because she lived over the border, I think, Nebraska. Well, she would come in and it fit. They had a lot in common. They started seeing each other. She started staying at his home because it was closer to where she worked. Well, the first night they met, Psycho Liz happened to show up because she has to get something out of his apartment. So she shows up. So he goes back up and tells Carrie, hey, Liz is here. She needs to get something out the apartment. Carrie and Liz see each other one time. Carrie and they're getting along great. Okay. Carrie, 37 years old. She had a son. She happened to come into his auto shop one day. She was having issues. He saw her. He thought she was beautiful. So then how he found her, he went back on Plenty of Fish and he was scrolling through the pictures. And lo and behold, Carrie pops up. He sends her a message. And she says, oh, I know you too. So that's how they started dating. Okay. So Carrie was at his house that morning. This is back in 2012. He kissed her bye and he left. A few hours later, he started getting all of these messages, crazy messages from Carrie. Why don't we move in together? He says, we've already discussed this. And then Carrie kept sending him messages about, you ruined my life. I'm going to ruin yours. All of this crazy shit. So then all of a sudden, Liz starts getting all of these messages. Carrie stalking Liz. Then Liz's house caught on fire. But got to remember that this had been going on for years. The gist of the thing is that this crazy bitch, Liz, actually killed Carrie And she was the one that was sending all of the messages. She actually shot herself in the leg. She was stalking this man's ex-girlfriend and his 2 kids. She's psycho. She's psycho. You need to watch Lover, Stalker, Killer, because I really want to discuss this. She is psycho. I've given you the gist, but you have to watch to see all the lengths this woman went to, because she was obsessed with this man right here. Okay? Need you to watch it. We would definitely discuss this. And probably Thursday over cocktails, because this is going to call for a drink. So, yes, she did. Yes, she did. When they had no type of, it was just hanging out, having drinks. She took it to a whole nother level. So you have to watch it. You have to watch it. Now, we're going to get into the Nova Scotia thing. It's the Nova Scotia Home for Colored Children. This place was opened back in the 1920s because colored kids weren't allowed to be in homes where the white kids were. The home was open for colored kids who parents couldn't take care of them, and they were calling themselves giving the kids a place to be so they can have so this place was open in Halifax. It was in 1921 or 1920. I think it's 21. And this was to accept the black kids, like I said, who couldn't go into the white homes, okay? This place was closed down in the 1980s, and all of these people started coming forward. So I'm going to play this. I'm going to put up my banner because this is trigger warning. And the documentary is called, well, it's not a documentary. It was like an update. It's called Throwaway Children, Abuse at a Child Care Home. I'm trying to see how to do this because, oh, well, if I get a copyright, I get a copyright. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. But this story needs to be heard. Hi, Moonlight 62. It needs to be shared. It needs to be heard because there's a lot of homes like that. We have kids. I think it's like 300 kids. Well, no, 360 something kids that went missing from another home, and they found all these kids buried. Well, unmarked graves, which was kids just dumped in there. Okay, so I really want to let this story be known. I shared the link in my description. This is coming from W5. Okay, W5 Vault, and I'm going to say fair use. Good morning, Brandy D. I'm going to skip through it because I really want, but I want to play just the important parts. I want you to see. Good morning, Patricia. So there was a worker at this home, and even the people on staff, and even some of the kids themselves that was abusing these kids that were sent there. So let's go.
These former residents of that home claim they were considered the throwaway children. And what they say they endured is difficult to hear. But it has taken years to work up the courage to say it and share it with Victor Malarick.
Just outside Halifax, abandoned on a small hillside, stands what many call a house of horrors, the site of an historic cover-up. Many of the children who live behind these walls are still haunted by the memories of their lost childhoods.
What we went through, we don't never get over that. Never. It doesn't go away.
It was so horrific because every time I thought of it, I often thought, you know, I could end it all.
It was hell living in that place for me.
That place is called the Nova Scotia Home for Colored Children. Opened in 1921, for decades it was the only institution in the province that would accept orphaned and abandoned Black children. Thousands of children live behind these walls, from toddlers to teenagers.
And they told me to shut up and stop my lies. And if I was ever say this lie again, I'm going to get a severe beating, worse than I ever had.
This was supposed to be a symbol of the Black community's dreams. Instead, for many former residents, it will always be home of their worst nightmares. In Montreal, Harriet Johnson is packing for a trip to confront the past she fled 30 years ago. She ran away from the home after what she claims was horrific abuse.
She was armed
Harriet
by
was
one
only
of the
7
workers
years old
there.
when her
Over
poverty-stricken
and
family
over again.
had to give her up.
She's not the
So
only
in
one.
1976, a social worker arrived to take her to the orphanage.
A lady came and had told me and my cousins that we're going to be going for ice cream.
You're going to go for ice cream?
Yes.
Oh, her
Did
eyes
this
are gorgeous.
social worker
Every time
ever
I
come
see her
to see
eyes,
you,
I'm
ever
like,
come to
"Damn,
talk to
she's
you?
beautiful eyes."
Never
I
came
never-
to see how you were?
No, the last time I saw her is when she dropped us off at the home.
So the social worker comes, tells you she's taking you for ice cream,
In the
dumps you in a home,
1980s,
and
I
you never
think
see
it was
her
like
again.
84 or 86.
For the
I can't
7-year-old
remember.
Harriet, this orphanage was anything but a home.
What was a typical day like in the home?
Beatings.
Beatings?
Yes.
That's typical?
Typical. Beatings, no food.
For what reason?
We would get beatings for the least little thing, for mainly saying the word bloody. You would get beaten severely. If you didn't have your hands behind your back, like into like a military stand, when you were speaking to the staff, you would get beat for that. And it wasn't only by belts. It was also by switches, sticks off of the branches outside, trees.
Harriet says she remembers almost daily physical abuse and neglect.
If this social worker who dropped you off there had ever come to the home to talk to you, what would you have said to her?
I would have told her exactly what was going on. How we were being treated, how we were being beaten, how we were being called names, how we were going without food.
Now they all go back to this place because of the lawsuit, and they all meet up again. So
you never
was
had an
severely
opportunity
abused
to
along
tell
with
anyone this.
the other people you're going to see.
I didn't.
Did you feel like you were out of sight, out of mind to the so-called child care system?
I felt that I was invisible.
Invisible, except to one of the staff. Harriet says she was about 10 years old when Georgie Williams assaulted her.
This is you.
This is me. Yes.
10 years old.
Just a little kid.
Georgie Williams.
Right here.
And he was a child care worker and also the home's driver. Harriet says that's why he had many opportunities to be alone with the girls.
To go somewhere with Georgie Williams, he would request that somebody would have to do some kind of sexual favor for him. You never got a free ride.
There was one ride that Harriet recalls ended with the total loss of her innocence.
He went around the back and told me to get in the back seat, so I did. Gets back there, takes off my pants, and he continued to rape me. I was screaming and crying and begging him to stop, but not once did he stop.
And Harriet may not have been alone. As part of a proposed class action lawsuit, a dozen other women have alleged that the Nova Scotia Home for Colored Children and the province did not protect them from staff like Williams. Among their claims, Williams sexually abused them while they were at the home.
Now, I'm going to skip forward, but know this. The home knew. The home knew. They knew. They knew. So we're going to get to this woman right here.
This little girl with big brown eyes and these great big braids.
There's Tracy.
She and her son were coming down off the escalator, and I said, oh my God, there's Harriet. She had her hair braided in these braids, and I said, that's my little sister.
Oh my God. Oh, wow.
When you heard what had happened to her,
I was sick. All I could do was cry because I know what happened to me and I know how it made me feel.
what happened to you?
Quite often, I was fondled in my sleep. I was woken out of my sleep and taken into the parents' house where staff had sex with me.
Tracy is one of the women who are part of the lawsuit against the home claiming abuse by Williams. And they claim he wasn't the only one who preyed on the girls.
Herbie Desmond was the biggest perpetrator. He threw me up against the wall. I tried to fight him off. And I knew I couldn't get him off me. He was just too strong. And he raped me.
How old were you?
I was probably about 13, 14.
Did you tell any staff member?
No, I ran in the shower. And I scrubbed and I scrubbed. I just wanted him off me.
Why didn't you tell anyone?
Well, I was scared to tell because I was told that if I told, no one would believe me. No one's ever going to believe me. You're a tomboy. You're ugly. Who the hell's going to believe you?
Seriously?
Yeah.
Back then, Herbie Desmond was a childcare worker. Tracy
You see
claims
this,
he
right?
abused her for years. In court documents, other past residents allege similar stories of sexual and emotional abuse by Desmond. Two alleged perpetrators almost...
Look at them. You're there to protect these kids. You're there to provide them a safe place. And you took advantage of these young girls. This shit is sick.
20 victims and claims the home and the government knew and did nothing about it.
Nothing.
Past residents like Tracy and Harriet suffered in silence. They had nowhere to turn until they found social worker Jane Earl.
Jane was the type of woman that just put you at ease.
Jane is married to Gordon Earl, Nova Scotia's first Black Member of Parliament. Together, they fostered many children from the orphanage. In the 1990s, some of their foster kids began to disclose physical and sexual abuse.
And the truth is that when they brought it forward to staff members, the few that had the nerve to do that, they weren't listened to. They were told consistently, nobody will believe you. Nobody wants you.
Harriet learned that lesson herself.
I recall different occasions with Mr. Williams, actually, that he would kiss me on the lips. Every time he would come in, I was told by a female staff to stop kissing him on the lips.
The female staff told you?
Yes.
Yes.
This is an adult male kissing you on the lips.
Yes. I said, no, he's kissing me. They did not believe me and nothing was done.
So they took the side of the staff member and ignored the child.
It was always like that.
Let's go ahead of
We
you.
didn't matter to them.
But they did matter to Jane Earl.
Here we go.
To meet you, and I just want to say thank you.
This is
You
the
have
young
no
man that
idea
tried their
how
best
your
to protect him.
story
He's
had
the
an
first
impact on my
one
life.
to blow the whistle on what was going on. He's a singer in Montreal.
Tony is a well-known Halifax entertainer. Music was his salvation. Tony Smith grew up in the home during the 1960s. He's the boy holding the
Right
tire.
there with the tire.
Tony remembers frightening times when staff forced the children to fight each other.
But they would look at the two people, normally friends.
You're going to hear about this little boy that had a heart condition, and they were forced to fight. The little boy was taken to the hospital, and he died, okay? And they were warned not to say a word about it.
And they would make you fight one another.
And if you said, I'm not going to fight?
You would get a beating from the staff.
He will never forget a fight that targeted one of the weaker boys.
One of my best friends, Tony Langford, he had a heart condition. He had a hole in his heart.
Tony was only 9 years old when he watched helplessly as the boys started to attack his best friend.
And when this was happening, I tried to get out because one of them got the door closed and three of them was holding me back, and I was yelling and they were muzzling my mouth. And then I seen he wasn't responding the way he did initially. He was slumped over helpless.
Tony Langford was rushed to the hospital.
I told staff what had happened, and they told me to shut up and stop my lies. And if I was ever say this lie again, I'm going to get a severe beating, worse than I ever had.
Did Tony ever come back from the hospital?
Nope.
He died.
He died?
He died.
And you were told to shut your mouth?
Yes.
He still haunts you?
He doesn't haunt me. It's those people in the home. The way that they try to cover this up.
Tony never had a chance to attend the funeral, never had a chance to say goodbye, until a few years ago when he tracked down the secluded graveyard where Anthony Langford is buried.
When you stood over his grave?
I've always been tough. I've always been not showing my emotions, but it was uncontrollable. And I said to him that I'm keeping my promise. You will not be forgotten.
Your promise is what?
I said that I'm going to let it be known what happened to him, that he didn't die in vain. I love you. Come on in.
Lawyer Ray Wagner is convinced
So the
stories like
Wagner
Tony's
group is the
are
one that
part
handled
of a
this lawsuit.
systematic cover-up.
But I want to go
They
forward.
thrived on us not talking.
When you hear of the staff who abused the kids, who abused you, that are still out there, do you hope one day that you get an opportunity to confront them?
Unfortunately for me and a lot of other people, because of our age, the majority of the people that were our abusers are no longer alive. Fortunately for some of the younger generation, we do know that there's strong allegations. They will receive justice.
Mandy!
This stuff has come out. You would think that the government would say, we need a major league investigation.
Absolutely. There is absolute no excuse. They were throwaway children, and they still are, for the government, but not for us.
Next, confronting a horrible past.
It's the heart of their nightmares. Paul Carvery and Stacey Beals have gathered here today to
Hold on,
reflect
I
on
want to
their
show you
shared
what they
legacy
confront
of abuse.
this woman.
Basically, what it was a prison.
Right. That if I thought that somebody cared, I was wrong.
Many former staff are named in sworn affidavits filed in support of the class action lawsuit. But Robert alleges two of the worst were Georgie Williams, the home's driver, and Herb Desmond, a child care worker. Robert remembers them bragging about their conquests. They were having sex with the girls.
You know how you have a buddy
Oh my
that
God,
you tell
Mandy.
something to, you boast about. That happened with me a lot, with the staff. Georgie himself told me he was smacking that ass. You know, he told me
So
himself.
Georgie was bragging to the men
And,
that he was smacking,
and
you know,
another
these
thing
little
he said to
girls,
me
you know,
about
having sex with them.
how tight someone's vagina was.
One summer
hear
night
this?
in 1983 was the turning point. For Robert, that's when Williams, in particular, crossed the line. It's all laid out here in this court document obtained by W5. This major incident report from June 6, 1983, the alleged rape of a 14-year-old resident by Georgie Williams. Robert remembers the girl came back after a long drive with Williams.
She jumped out of the car. She was bawling. She ran into the home. I asked Georgie, what's wrong with her? He told me she was upset about her boyfriend. That was his explanation. I asked him why the windows were so all fogged up and why was he sweating?
Hi, Teresa Marie.
He said, well, it's just hot in here. Anyway, I got to go into the home. Parked the car and went in.
And who was that girl who reported Georgie Williams had raped her? She wishes to remain anonymous.
Now, I want you to hear
and
the rest
hasn't
of
joined
this.
the class action suit. But court documents reviewed by W5 disclosed that as a result of the rape, she required 18 stitches. Back at the home, the girl was punished for speaking out, hassled and beaten up, not by staff, but by another 14-year-old resident named Tessie Brooks. Tessie is now 45 years old and lives in Ottawa. She's been protecting George Williams for years.
Nova Canada, Nova
until now.
Scotia,
She
Halifax.
breaks down even before we start talking.
Girl, I don't feel sorry for you.
I didn't know what decision to take.
And that piece of shit on your
It's tough when
head.
you have to talk about the past, you know?
Tessie still hasn't forgiven herself for what happened back in June 1983.
She was emotionally torn, crying, and she said, Georgie raped me. And I pretty much turned my back on her, didn't help her.
She's got pretty
I
eyes.
was a kid myself, and I wish I could have
She beat her up.
I wish I could help. And I could help.
When Georgie told you to go and shut the girl up, what did you do?
I agreed with him. I tried to tell her to be quiet.
Tessie says Williams preyed on her as well. She says he was having
18
sex with her
stitches.
when she was only 14 years old.
Everybody looked up to Georgie.
Who
But
looked
he
up
wasn't
to
the
him?
person that we all thought that he was.
Why was it that they would look up to him?
His charming ways. He was
Charming.
pleasant. He would pretend he's for us, but really he knew why he was being polite to us, because he wanted to abuse us.
But you
If you had a
knew that.
chance today to speak to the girl, what would you say to her today?
I'm extremely sorry. I wish I was able to help her.
You could have.
I love her.
You were being abused too.
I'm really, really sorry.
You don't beat people that you love.
And how did the home react after learning about the rape of a 14-year-old girl? The board considered reporting this crime to the police and that maybe Georgie Williams should go to jail for his actions.
But they didn't. According to their own document, the board chose to shelve this idea, pending further investigation.
You heard that. They knew. They shelved it. They knew, but they got rid of him. That's like the Catholic Church. You get rid of them and move them from parish to parish. And then this bitch starts working at a daycare center. Seriously.
The home dismissed Williams, but they never informed the police.
Harriet Johnson has never seen this report. She alleges Georgie Williams raped her when she was a child living in the home.
Do you realize what they could have stopped long ago?
I'm speechless as I read this, because I cannot believe that they knew. That they had already, somebody must have already came forward to the directors about what he's done. This is documentation about it.
Yeah.
And nothing was done.
It's time for Harriet to confront the past she fled 30 years ago. Her friends wait while she struggles to walk up the driveway. She can't run away from the home anymore. She needs to face it. She hasn't been here since she was a child.
It's okay to cry. Remember, we're talking cleansing tears, okay? He can't hurt you. He can't hurt you no more. You're bigger than him. It's all boarded up. Only thing in there is bad memories.
It was the first time that I'd been back there for a long time. I was never wanting to step foot on that property again because it was painful. But I had been involved a lot longer than she had, so I had had an opportunity to develop some skills to deal with, painful stuff. But she hadn't, so I kind of pulled it together for her, more so than myself.
Look at that. I remember the worker driving me up here, just leaving me inside of that place.
They were supposed to protect me, not hurt me in here. I hate this building. I hate it. I hate it.
That's the basement. They used to take us and beat us there. And if we moved, they would
Look at
hold
him
us by
smirking.
the hand and just keep going and going.
Damn you! Damn it!
kids again in here. See the kids.
Morden, they hurt me here. They hurt me here, Morden. They hurt me bad here, Morden. They hurt me bad here, Morden. They hurt me bad. They hurt me bad.
I don't know if they ever had any
They
kind of
never
treatment,
expected us to
any
get
kind
strong.
of
That's why they hurt us.
therapy
We
for
couldn't
this.
fight back then, but we can fight back now.
Today's visit was supposed to be a healing journey, but what happens next opens old wounds. An uninvited guest arrives at their reunion, the current executive director of the Nova Scotia Home for Colored Children, Veronica Marsman.
Block her out. Don't let her out. Listen, I'm allowed to walk on the 2 feet God gave me anytime I want. The name's Harriet Johnson. Get it right.
Remember the 1983 alleged rape that the board didn't report
She
to the
worked there,
police?
she knew.
Veronica Marsman was the supervisor who first investigated it.
Excuse me, please. Excuse you, please? Yep. Give
She
me one
knew.
reason why should I excuse you? Because you're in my way. I'm in your way?
Harriet recalls calling Veronica about Williams a year ago.
You told the executive director your story
Yes,
and nothing happened?
nothing happened. Here it is almost a year later. I'm still waiting to be contacted back.
Go right ahead, Veronica. Go right ahead, Veronica. Seriously. You can't even explain why you didn't call me back last year when I called you, spoke to you personally, and told you what Georgie Williams did.
Good morning.
The only way you're
Yes,
going to get
it
away
is
from me is
horrible.
go that way. I am not that weak little girl anymore.
We want to know why Veronica showed up here today,
No, sorry. I'm sorry.
but no luck. Seeing Veronica Marsman pull up in her car, what did it do?
That's the same treatment we got when we were kids.
You weren't important as a child. You're not important as an adult.
She could have answered the question. She chose.
She wasn't
her
going
decision
to.
was to run away, right? Avoid it. Like it's been avoided for so many years, not just by her, by other staff, other government. You know, we're not important to them.
Next, terrible memories that
Guest at this reunion.
Excuse me, please.
Back your goddamn car.
Go right ahead, Veronica. Go right
you
ahead,
crazy?
Veronica.
Back your car.
Seriously. Seriously, you think I'm going to move?
All those men and women who were there today were telling us stories of the abuses. And then you showed up and, whoa, it was like someone ignited a
fire, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunate for me.
Some of
Unfortunately
the
for
former
her.
residents remember Veronica when she was a child. She lived at the home for 2 years during the 1960s. Veronica has fond memories of an institution that cared for thousands of Black children. Even today, the home exists in a newer building. It's a short-term residence for children of all races.
The Nova Scotia Home for Colored Children has impacted and touched just about every Black home in the province. And by either their family members or their aunts or uncles working here, or they had somebody who was placed at the home. And yeah, not all of the experiences
Not all of
were
them.
bad.
Not all the experiences were bad, but those that were bad
Were
were
bad.
serious. You know, you're talking about beatings, you're talking about sexual abuse, even rape.
And those are the matters that are before the courts right now. So there is a process in place for people to deal with that. We're ensuring that the practices that we have today are on the right track and they're going in the right direction. That's where we're at.
But there's still an unfinished past. We tell her about the
No, they paid
1983
nothing.
major
Well,
incident
they paid
report,
them
the alleged
$34
rape
million
of a
apiece,
14-year-old
300
girl
victims.
by Georgie Williams,
Hi,
reported
Wyatt.
directly to Veronica Marsman, who was one of the supervisors at the time.
The board discussed it. They thought maybe we should go to the police. It's right here in your own documents. And it says, well, this idea was shelved pending further investigation. This came
I've
from...
not seen that document.
She's
Yeah,
lying.
no, but I mean, at that
She's not
time,
even
you were a
looking at it.
supervisor. You must have been aware of it.
And what was the outcome?
It was shelved, and
that
Mr.
the
Williams
full-
was dismissed.
Never went to the police.
So, I mean, certainly we're not in a position to speak to that. I'm not even clear if I even knew exactly what did take place.
Bullshit.
But according to the report, back then, Veronica Marsman conducted a thorough investigation.
There you go.
Former resident Robert Borden says he remembers June 1983 like it was yesterday.
Veronica Marsman was at the home when this incident of the rape occurred. Do you recall whether she was aware of this?
But if she was there, she was aware. Everybody knew about it the next day, so she was aware.
You're telling me that when you were a supervisor at this time, you were never aware that George Williams was dismissed and why he was dismissed?
Oh, I'm not saying that I wasn't aware of why he was dismissed. I said I'd like to know, there's more details to that, actual circumstances that I'd like to go back and review. That's been several years now.
Girl, stop. You
Many
would
years.
remember
There's all
that.
kinds of different levels of accountability, though.
There's only one accountability
There's
when
only
a
one.
crime
Thank
is
you.
committed. You go to the police.
Thank
or an
you.
alleged crime.
There's only
or a
one.
suspected crime.
There's documents that are provided, like we have to, there's forms that have to be filled out, even back
Girl,
then.
you called the police.
There's only one way to deal with an allegation of rape.
And I think
You
the
go
board-
to the police.
I think it would be irresponsible in terms
You
of
shut up too.
the facts
We need to
and
get your hair
acknowledging what the facts are to make a comment on it.
So what happened to the alleged abusers, Herb Desmond and Georgie Williams? As part of the proposed
Billy.
class action, about 20 women claimed they were sexually assaulted by them while they were children at the home. As seen here, Herb Desmond is still living in Cole Harbour. He ended up at the Nova Scotia Human Rights Commission. After this abuse scandal surfaced, he took an extended leave of absence. W5 tried repeatedly to speak to Herbert Desmond. He won't answer our letters requesting an on-camera interview, but has previously denied the allegations.
Of course he
You
has.
hear Herbie Desmond is on the Human Rights Commission. Shock you?
I was thinking, did they not check into his past? But he wouldn't have been on the
There was no
charges register
report.
because nobody spoke up.
And what about Georgie Williams? W5 made repeated attempts to speak with him. He won't answer our calls or letters. But we track him down in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, keeping a low profile.
If you saw him in front of you right now, what would you say to him?
I would say to him, what you've done to me, you will one day pay. I will get justice for what he's done to me.
After Georgie Williams was dismissed from the home, where did he end up? At the East Preston Daycare Center as a school bus driver. After allegations about his past became public, the daycare suspended Williams.
He ripped the innocence from these children.
Krista Dix has read all the graphic details about his alleged crimes. Krista Dix's daughter Peyton was at the East Preston daycare. Georgie Williams drove her to school every day.
Disgusting to think that he got away with it then, and then the potential was there all over again, and nobody did anything about it.
You want to go forward. You want to do good things.
We are doing both.
Yeah.
But you've got a past
Yep.
that is like a nightmare when you hear from these people. I mean, maybe not for you, and maybe not for you, but boy, this hangs over them, and it's not been dealt with.
It is people's memory of an aspect of our past.
Bullshit.
But there's a full past that
They were abused.
we're hopeful will come out as well.
Sexually,
And your
physically,
aim,
mentally.
your goal is today and the future.
Always, but reflecting always on our past. I mean, the past is who we are.
Tony Smith's past still haunts him, but it hasn't defeated him. He married his college sweetheart, Chalice, and they have a beautiful family. The kind of family Tony could only have dreamed of as a child.
How do you hope all this will end?
There's no saying the truth hurts and the truth will set you free. If they accept the truth will free us all to move forward. And that's what I'm looking for.
Social worker Jane Earle has made it her mission to raise awareness of this alleged legacy of abuse.
What should happen?
A public inquiry should be held
That was
so
done.
that they have a chance to publicly talk about what was done to them and how it's ruined their lives. I'm amazed that some of them have gotten their lives together so well. Absolutely amazed.
But they're still hurting.
But they're still hurting.
What keeps you going?
My girls. I have 2 beautiful girls. And some days when I'm just feeling really low, my youngest, who's still at home with me, she hugs me and she says, Mommy, it's going to be okay. And I know that it will be okay eventually.
Because she loves her mommy.
Because she loves her mommy.
It's the kind of love that was missing from all their childhoods, a suffering that unites them all.
I'm going forward with my brothers. Tony. Stacy.
Harry, how's Jerry?
Jerry.
Sorry, parents, honey, Harry.
Get over here. My brothers and my sisters. We're going to go forward from here and put all of the pain behind us. We're going to stand together and bring each other's predator down to justice.
So, Father, we just pray for a wonderful solution to all of this, that those who are unable
Oh my
to
God,
find their
David
voice
Mandy, when
will find it
I
through
got
this
chills
civil
right
group.
now.
And we just pray that it will continue to grow bigger.
So the
and
premier
stronger,
did
and that we know that together we can accomplish all. And these blessings we
to
ask
them
in
for
your
what
name.
happened.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
He said, we hear your voices, we grieve for your pain, for the trauma and neglect you endured, and the lingering effects on you and your loved ones. We are truly sorry. And that lawsuit was done by Wagner's. We also thank you for showing such courage and perseverance in telling your stories, your strength, your resilience, and your desire for healing and reconciliation should be an inspiration to all Nova Scotians. They paid through the ass over 300 victims, $34 million apiece. That still won't bring them any kind of resolution, anything. But that's what happened. And I wanted to share that with you guys. They're adults. They still have the scars. Their pain, their suffering isn't being recognized except for monetary gain. And for that bitch to sit there with that smirk on her face, that pissed me off when I watched this. Nope, it won't help them sleep. These kids endured a lot, and no one, except for the premier, but she sits there like she didn't know anything about it when she was there as a supervisor. Now she's a director. So you are aware. Just because her experience wasn't that, you're discounting someone else's feelings. Oh, the scars never go away. It's just sad. It's sad to know what these kids endured. And when you see these adults speaking on it, and she sits there and she's with a smirk on her face, never called the woman back. She's got like, okay, it never happened. Yeah, that's bullshit. I was looking for docuseries and I was pointed in that direction. And I was like, oh my God, it popped up. And it popped up on my algorithm a few days back, but I never watched it until I watched it last night. Well, the institution has now been reopened, but they're in a different location, and it's open to Black and white kids under new leadership and new direction. But this is not the only place that this happened to, with kids being sent away. No one wants you, and that's why they call them throwaway kids. No one wants you. So It's sad because no one wants these kids. So they're restoring that building, which I think they need to tear that bitch down. And they reopened it in October of 2022, as a matter of fact. It's now called the Kinney Place. So they reopened it, they remodeled it. It's now called the Kinney Place, but that place should be torn down. They were abused, they were malnutrition, they were and I'm sorry. I got my little. It was closed it was officially closed in 1979, but they had to place the kids. So like the early 80s, it was completely done with. So what do you guys think? Light a match? Teresa says she wants to light a match. No one is doing time yet. No one. There's been no charges brought yet. So this lawsuit was settled in 2014. As of today. And I reached out to Tracy too. And she did respond back to me. So I'm going to talk to her during the week. And I'm going to see if she can come on. Because I really want. But then, but no. Hold on a second. Let me find this. Hold on. Let me find it. Let me show you guys what they've done to it. Hold on a second. Because when I was doing it, it's called, I think it's called Kinney. Yeah, it's called Kinney Place. Kinney Place is what it's called. Hold on. Former Orphanage for Black Children reopens as Kinney Place. So this is it. I'm trying to find, because they did a news thing on it. Hold on a second. I'm trying to find it. Because I watched it so you guys can see it. It's former, hold on, let me find it. Hold on. I'm trying to remember how the article went. I think that's it. I'm typing in keywords. Let me see if this pulls it up. Hold on. Okay, I have it. But I want you to see the news thing, because they did a news thing on it. And okay, repurposed, renamed. Okay, I have it. Repurposed, renamed. This is not. So it's a Kinney Place now. It's a business. It's owned by, let's see. I'm trying to find that damn, because I watched it. Shit. Okay, hold on. Let me see if that has, because they did a whole thing on it. And now I can't find it. News, videos. Okay, hold on a second. I think I might have it. So you can see what they repurposed the building to be. And I don't care what you repurposed it to be. You still had kids there that were abused. And now it's a black business. There's all these black businesses in there. Hold on. I think I have it. I think this is the thing. Okay, hold on. I have it. I found it. See, I told you. Hi, Claudia. I watched all this shit. Hold on. Okay, so I have a commercial. Wait. No, thanks. Okay. Here we go.
Has just reshaped the whole world, including our world.
Committee members were planning an open house for the 100th
Anniversary of the Nova Scotia Home for Colored Children. Construction of a replica building is nearly complete, but provincial pandemic safety measures won't allow for an in-person gathering, so they're going virtual.
It's important to the history of Nova Scotia. So we're really, really proud of what we've put together.
You're proud of a place that abused kids.
Home first opened to support Black children who were not allowed in white institutions.
You picture 100 years ago, 3,000 people meeting, Black people meeting for one exciting thing. And, you know, that was back that time was big because Black kids, colored kids, I'll go back that far, weren't allowed in any other orphanage. So they built their own orphanage.
But after it closed in the 1980s, stories from former residents began to emerge of physical, psychological, and sexual abuse, shedding light on the systemic racism and the racial segregation that existed at the time, prompting lawsuits, a settlement, and apologies.
On behalf of my ministers, my caucus, our government, we are sorry.
In 2019, a restorative inquiry into the abuse at the home helped validate the stories of the survivors. Spencer Colley says today feels like a new way forward.
Things have happened. I mean, everything didn't run smooth.
Things have happened. Things have happened. We had all of these little Black kids being raped, abused, beaten, severely beaten. Things happen. You tear that shit down.
In the later years, but I mean, we got to move on and try to make a difference. And I mean, it's not just here that it happened in all institutions of this type.
Akuma Family Center now operates the home. It says it wants to develop the land to create an Afrocentric community for multi-generations to come together to support one another and thrive.
We're moving in the right direction. And I know that there's so much opportunity yet to be realized.
Jesse Thomas, Global News, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia.
They are invalidating these young kids' feelings. These grown adults now, they're invalidating their feelings. One child died, but you know, things happen. You know, they weren't always run the correct way. Things happen. So let's just put this aside because we need to move on. But yet they're tearing down all of these statues that are historical. Oh my God, Savage is going live at 9:30. Shifty Eye Sunday. Savage is, thank you, Savage. Savage is going live. But let's not. So guys, I did find something and I really never got a chance to listen to it, but Stefan Sterns' ex-friend called in and I had it marked to talk. So Gray Hughes, which I'm going to put this in the thing. I want you guys to hear this. I don't know if you follow Gray Hughes or not, but Gray Hughes is the one that got this conversation. Is Gray Hughes Investigates. So let me drop this here in the chat. I'm going to add him to my box. So I want you to hear what Stephen's ex-friend had to say. And I want to drop Gray Hughes in here in my description box. And I want you to hear this. So let me share my screen with you. I'm going to put up a brand. There we go. I'm letting you know where I got it from. It's coming from Gray Hughes. I just dropped it in the chat. Well, you see, I wanted to, you know what? I just wanted to hear, and I only got a chance to listen to, matter of fact, I listened to a few minutes. So I lied when I said I didn't get a chance to listen. I listened to it.
The video, if you think of anything, put your comment in the comments.
But he still floats in the same circles.
All right, so all videos. And without further ado, as my mom would say, here is that call.
Yeah. I was that kid's best friend for like a decade. Yeah. So we had a falling out like 12 years ago, but he still floats in the same circles because he moved up and down the state, apparently,
He's
like
talking
doing
about
real estate
Stefan
with his mom and dad.
Sterns.
But he
I
started
said,
working for Disney, and I know he's still working there in like September, but I don't think he's working there anymore because Disney made a statement or something about it. He was actually in the T-Rex area at Epcot, I think. I think that's where he worked. I don't know if like he's not working. I mean, he could have quit after September, but I know in September he's still working there because he had pictures on his Instagram. Because people always send me crap about him because we were best friends for so long, and then we had a falling out because he drew a gun on me over a disagreement. So I just cut ties with him completely. But some of the stuff that kid did growing up was so crazy. So a year after we stopped being friends, one of our mutual friends was going through hard times and needed a cheap place to live. So he moved in with him. And this kid's like an IT wizard. So essentially what happened is a year after that, they had a falling out. And I convinced my buddy to tell me what happened. And apparently what had happened was he had been cleaning up the network and found a shared folder between their computers where Stefan had been secretly hiding a camera in his room and recording his girlfriend coming in and out of the shower.
Oh, jeez.
And from what I understand, there was kid stuff on there as well. And like I said, my buddy was going through a really hard time, like literally broke. And from what I understand, Stefan's mom paid off my buddy to not talk about it.
And so he was cleaning up the network and found.
So Stefan's mother knew he had a penchant for young kids. The mother knew this. So why didn't is she still alive? Because when Madelaine went missing, the first thing I would have did was call the police and said, hey, you need to check into my son. And I swear to God, I would have done that. Because I know that he has this thing for young kids.
Found images that this Stefan guy's kind of a moron, isn't he? I mean,
a moron.
I mean, he does.
It's something like all of us are friends. So like a lot of us old friends from high school, they've all been blowing me up for like the last 2 days about all this. And that's kind of the agreement we've all come to too. We're like, wow, he was actually really, really dumb. Like all of this is so stupid. Like it's kind of crazy because he was kind of a smart kid, but he had social issues a little bit. But I mean, he partied. I threw parties all the time, and he always came out and partied. I mean, me and him were basically attached at the hip. We lived together. We lived in the same room for like 5 years. That's why all this is so crazy to see all this going down, and just like the amount of people that are flooding me constantly. But his mom his dad is pretty normal. It always seemed like his dad didn't like the rest of the family, and his brother seemed to distance himself from I knew this kid. We were attached at the hip for a better part of a decade, and I never once saw his brother. I think his brother was military or something like that.
Well, what can you tell us about
North Carolina?
How long do you know this guy for?
I moved here from Japan when I was like 17, so probably until I was 27. We lived together for probably 6-7 of those years.
Wow. So like, what can you tell? Like, remembering back, what do you know about him? I mean, just how was he like when you go to bars
all
and
across
the
his
girls
face?
and whatever?
He could have put up anything.
Yeah, all that was like, there's one time recently, and that's because she actually messaged me today. She's married with kids now and everything like that, but there was one girl who messaged me, and we didn't let him bring her to parties. He had to be 20, probably 20 at the time, and he was dating a girl who was 17. And we were like, no, sorry, she's not allowed. So none of us really interacted with her, so I don't really know too much about that. But we do know he was dating a young girl.
And what did she look
and
like?
None of us.
What does it matter what she looks like?
Oh, she was Asian and really small then?
Yeah, she was tiny and Asian, yeah.
Okay.
She was
my
literally
God.
tiny and Asian.
Okay.
4'11" maybe.
Well, my wife's only she's
okay. I see
we
why
were
you
living
guys
together.
don't like this guy.
I don't know, probably a couple years into. This was at the end of our relationship, so we had a disagreement because there was a lot of issues wrong with the house we were renting through his dad, And I didn't want to pay rent because like a whole bunch of these issues, AC, garage, all these
Okay,
things
he's
hadn't
not
been
talking
fixed, and
about
the car
shit.
was pinned in the garage.
Okay.
And this went on for like months. So finally I refused to pay
Okay.
rent. I was like, look, you got to fix these issues. I'm like, this can't go on any longer. I'm not paying rent until you fix these issues. And his son flipped out on me because I guess his dad was giving him a hard time trying to get Stefan to give the money to pay the rent. And I was just like, no, not until you fix these problems. And Stefan flipped out the house, threw a temper tantrum. And I mean a legit like 3-year-old temper tantrum, laying on the ground, a grown man pounding and kicking his feet into the ground and screaming and yelling. And he does all this, proceeds to run into the room, grab his gun, and draw a gun on me.
Okay.
We get into a scuffle after.
Yeah. Okay. We know that she wasn't his first victim. We know that he's probably got other victims out there. This does remind me of Chris Watts with him standing there in tears about his family, about the wife, about the kids. This fool sitting at the table crying. Jennifer Soto walks up and gives him a hug. Like, okay, are we fucking serious? He came, well, at that time, I'm sure she had some type of suspicion that you can't tell me this woman did not know anything about what this man was capable of doing or have some inkling. Because as someone said in the chat, she told her mother she was being touched. So I feel no sympathy for her at all. None. And then I ran across a story where the stupid ass stepdad watched as his daughter was being strangled. His young daughter, his stepdaughter, was being strangled by a friend of his. This is the shit they're into. This is the shit they're into. So, wait a minute. What do you mean a baby girl was probably pregnant? Who said that? Who said that? Because I want to know if that's true. Who said that? Who said that? Is this proven to be a fact? She couldn't keep the story straight. That was said on Duty Ron's last night. There is no autopsy report. There is not, none of that's been released yet. And so we have Savannah Soto, who was pregnant. She and her boyfriend, Guerrero, were killed. Matthew. We have Savannah Soto's mother. When she went to a hearing, she was arrested in court. What in the hell is going on with these people? We got Paul Ferguson, who got he was sentenced, and I still have that up. I haven't shared it. I wanted you guys to see the sentence, but everybody knows by now he got 30 years. Oh my God. She was pregnant? A family member said, looked like Madelaine had gained weight recently. Good morning, Dorit. Oh my God. They are waiting for confirmation. the lack of emotion. He had no emotion. To me, if you know this man was touching your daughter, and in my opinion, she knew something, maybe she had a jealousy about her daughter. Oh my God. Oh my God. Are you freaking kidding me? Oh my God. I sure hope that's not true. I really hope that is not true. But then again, nothing would surprise me in this case. I'm waiting to hear about her mother being investigated. I said before, someone's going to come forward. Someone will come forward. They found videos in his phone of girls doing sexual things and him whacking off. Now, I haven't heard that about video of him with her, but I'm going to tend to believe that. For the simple fact is, he accidentally reset his phone. This shit is crazy. Now, he had his first court appearance, and I know that, and I was trying to find it so we can hear first. That's what I was looking for. First court appearance. I know he had his first court appearance. Okay, I have it. 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 Hold on. Hold on. Let me stop it. I have it. Let me get it. This shit gets more and more disgusting. Here is his first, and this is
the body of 13-year-old Madelaine Soto was found. The prime suspect in her disappearance was a no-show in court today. Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Manny Martinez. Stefan Sterns waived his first appearance before a judge this morning for the second time in just a span of a few days. He's now facing sexual battery and child pornography charges, but has not so far yet been charged in Maddie's death.
This is
Fox 35's
15
Matt
hours
Trezza
ago.
explains why more charges could be on the way.
Stefan
Oh,
Sterns
they're
was a no-show for his first appearance in Osceola County Court. His lawyer didn't even want the judge reading out the charges.
Stephen Sterns, or Stephens.
Your Honor, at this time, I am going to waive Mr. Sterns' appearance. I'm also going to waive the reading of these charges. Mr. Sterns is aware of what he's been arrested for.
At the first appearance, Sterns faced charges including sexual battery and possession of material depicting sexual performance by a child. Sterns had voluntarily handed.
See, it says by a child. It doesn't say Madelaine. And that's true. There's a lot of mothers, like this one mother that offered up her 8-year-old daughter because the guy said she smelled so bad, he didn't want to have sex with her. So she offered up her 8-year-old daughter. I covered that last year. I did follow duty.
His phone to investigators who managed to recover photos and videos that they call disturbing. Investigators say he's also the prime suspect.
Because Nina, I remember when Duty Ron started his channel, and Mina would send me all of his links. So I would go watch.
In Madelaine Soto's disappearance, search teams finally recovered Maddie's body Friday evening after an exhaustive search through the woods in Osceola County. The judge said Sterns would stay behind bars.
Understood, sir. You got 0 bond and 24 CF 632. Good luck to you.
Orange County deputies have turned over the case to Kissimmee Police. Sheriff John Mina says they have proof Sterns tried to cover his tracks after Maddie's death.
We have video evidence that shows Stefan Sterns discarding items in a dumpster in that apartment complex in Kissimmee at 7:35 on Monday, February 26th.
Good morning.
Detectives later recovered Madeleine's backpack and her school-issued laptop from that dumpster. At 8:19, we have evidence
Yep, it's under
that
duty
shows
run.
Stefan Sterns returning to the complex, and Madelaine was visible in that vehicle. We believe she was already dead.
Did you hear that? Madelaine was visible. I told you guys yesterday she was visible in the vehicle, and they believe she was already dead
at that time.
Former Orlando police.
So they said that was 7 something. They saw him disposing of her stuff. So did he kill her in the home? That is my question. Did he kill her in the home and then drove to drop her off where she was found? If she was killed inside of that home, has that apartment been searched? What does that mother know? What does the mother know? Because it's early in the morning. What time did the mom go to work? She said, we took her to school. Then she goes, my partner took her to school. Was Madelaine Cade inside that home? We know they went there and they pulled out all kind of stuff when they arrested him and they did that search. I'm waiting to know, where was this young girl killed? Because that time of morning, that tells me she had to be killed close to that home or in that home. That's what that tells me. No, the mommy wasn't in the car. Fight like a girl, and congratulations. I heard Danny's live yesterday. Fight like a girl is 5 years cancer-free. Congratulations. Oh my God, Danny's live yesterday. Oh yes, Danny. Yes, girl. Yes. So those are my questions. They have video of him disposing of stuff in a dumpster at 7:30 in the morning. That tells me Madelaine was already deceased. Where was she Cade at? Was she Cade inside the home? What time does the mother go to work? Does the mother work? She had to not be, those are all these questions we need to have answered.
Police Chief Orlando Rolone says Sterns may have thought he could fool investigators.
This is a perfect example of someone who probably thought, I can get away with this. And unfortunately, everything is pointing at the fact that he has now been caught for the murder of this child.
Kissimmee police say at this time they aren't releasing any further updates on the case. In Kissimmee, Matt Trezza, Fox 35 News.
Just one day after the...
So let's ask ourselves, where was she Cade? Because 7:30 in the morning, you're disposing of stuff.
For bringing you the very
Oh,
first...
shit, wait a minute. Hold on. We got another good one. Hold on. I gotta
View of
go
the man
through.
accused of running down a mother and daughter downtown. Tonight, some of Monty Henderson's freedom has been frozen. A judge is keeping Henderson on house arrest 24/7
Is that the guy that
until he goes to
plowed through
trial.
This
and killed
comes less
those
than
2
24
women?
hours after we showed you new video of the deadly accident. And again, we do want to warn you, this video can be unsettling.
And the victims were visiting downtown from Chicago for a concert.
Oh my
a couple
God, I
weeks
saw
ago.
that.
Police say this video shows
Oh
Henderson.
my God. Okay, you need to watch this. He comes through barreling, they go flying, and then he totals this car over here. Oh my God, watch.
Flying down Olive, running a red
Oh!
light, hitting the 2 women. We're not going to show you the moment of impact. It's really just
I saw
honestly
the whole
too jarring.
video.
Despite the judge's actions today, the victim's
I saw
family,
the
even
whole
legal
video.
experts, question
Plowed
Henderson's
them and
initial
they were-
bond,
oh my
as well
God.
as charges. First Alert 4 investigator Susan O'Corey takes those questions right to the city prosecutor.
Family claims what you'll see in this video is a driver who doesn't deserve
That
to be
car-
walking free, and they believe releasing.
Wait a minute. This car right here, the whole front end was tore up. He came barreling through that intersection. I saw this on IG, and I saw this yesterday. He came barreling through the intersection. They went, I mean, that impact was, and I'm not showing it. I'm glad they, well, I wish it, but it was horrible. This whole car over here, all the front was torn up.
Him sends a dangerous message.
And
But
they
today in
released him.
court, we saw a shift as the judge put
Good
more
morning,
restrictions
Stacey.
on that freedom. Hood on, covering his face with his hair, Monty Henderson walks into court Tuesday, leaving less than an hour later without a word as his family tries to grab our camera. First Alert 4 Investigates was the first to show you this video we got from a source showing Leticia Brachero, known to many as Letty, and her daughter Alyssa Cordova. It's Valentine's Day. They're leaving the Drake concert, crossing the intersection of 18th and Olive Streets in downtown St. Louis.
He was
when a
racing
Jeep
somebody.
runs a red light. We're stopping the video before the two are thrown down the street and killed.
Yep.
It happened so fast, you can barely see the Jeep.
Boom.
Police say the driver is 22-year-old Monty Henderson, accusing him of running reds and driving speeds topping 70 miles an hour on downtown streets. Cameras weren't allowed in court as prosecutors read statements from the family, asking the judge to revoke Henderson's bond,
But he didn't.
calling his driving reckless. Letty Brachero's sister writing, "They were my world. Our family will never be the same, and you took that from us." Reporting by First Alert 4 Investigates, uncovered prosecutors were not at Henderson's first hearing, where Judge Annette Llewellyn let him out on a bond that cost him $20,000. Circuit Attorney Gabe Gore not answering directly why his office wasn't at that hearing.
The matter went to a judge for an initial bond review. The judge reviewed it and issued a bond.
This time, the hearing was in front of Catherine Durker, and prosecutors were in court fighting for stricter conditions on his bond. Henderson's defense lawyer asked for leniency, saying this is Henderson's first arrest. The judge ultimately put Henderson on 24/7 house arrest with a GPS monitor, and he also had to surrender his driver's license.
Monte, what do you have to say to the
As
family?
Henderson goes from court to across the street to get his GPS monitor, he again hides his face while family tries to shield him. Do you have anything to say to the families? Ankle monitor on, he gets into a waiting car and drives off.
We'll never have them back.
Family of Letty Bracero and Alyssa Cordova tell First Alert 4 they want answers, including why Henderson was charged with involuntary manslaughter, a felony but lesser charge compared to murder. We took
Because
that
it was
concern to
involuntary, that's
prosecutors.
why.
I don't discuss pending cases. I'm confident that based
He
on the
didn't
facts of this
intentionally
case,
try to
we
kill
have
him,
made the
although
correct
his actions
charging decisions.
were
Family
reckless.
point back to the video, saying it shows a mother and daughter who should have made it home. In court today, we learned this video is just the beginning. Prosecutors say they have more video from that night showing Henderson nearly missing other cars and people on the street. We've asked police for surveillance footage they have, but we're told they can't release anything because it's still being investigated. We're also learning Henderson had multiple speeding tickets, including one almost a month before the crash, where he's accused of driving more than 20 miles over the speed limit. A lot we're going to keep following here. Susan O'Corey, First Alert 4 Investigates.
Okay, so. All right, well, now we know. Okay, guys, I'm going to go. Don't forget, Savage is going to go live. Yep, 20K, that's it. No, his bond was 200,000. So 10% of that was 20K. That's what it cost him. High crafting with D. So the bond was 200,000. He had to pay 10%. So 20K is what they did to a bail bondsman. He can still drive without a license. Exactly. Lita got caught speeding. When? Are we talking about Lita from 90 Days? I need to check and see if she's going to court and when is her court date. I know a lot of people won't like that, but I don't give a shit. But this guy, so it was reckless. It could be reckless homicide. Yep, 20K for 2 lives. Yep. So that's 100,000 apiece. Ooh, Michelle, you got to send me that. Ooh, you definitely have to send me that. I definitely want to see that. Ooh. 20. Yep. So I can see reckless homicide. I can see reckless homicide. But involuntary, they may want to change that charge because it was reckless. I like. Yes, I need to check back on that too. I need to check up on that case. Was she driving the car? Y'all need to stop. Scotty's Deborah, you have a lovely day too. Okay, I'm going to go. I'm gonna get myself. I'm gonna take me a nice hot bubble bath. We have no snow today. I see it's trying. I don't know what the temperature is right now, but I need to run out to the store because we're supposed to get it really bad tomorrow. Alexa, what's the temperature today? So it's 30 degrees. Yes, Alexa. They had to sell it for the court costs. Oh, okay. Well, I will be checking into that as well. I am unbiased. But so I will see you guys later. I'll see you in Savage's chat. Savage goes live at 9:30 Pacific time. Damn, 11:30 Central, 12:30 Eastern. So I will see you guys then. I want you to have a good Sunday. Happy Sunday. I don't know what you guys are cooking. So if you want to tell me what you're cooking, how do you go back to Texas, get out the snow and go straight to Whataburger. Whataburger. So my godson's sister, it's actually now living about 3 hours from me. And she sent me a message. She goes, I am not built for snow. I said, girl, join the club. So her job transferred her here. She's a process tech engineer. And they transferred her here. And she is like, I am not built for this. But I see she's got pictures of her driving through all that snow. She's in Colorado, or is it Idaho? Shit, I'm gonna have to look and see what her message says. Oh, are you cooking? Or is your daughter cooking? I haven't had a Whataburger since college. What? Yep. So when they opened the Whataburger, I think it was Whataburger in Maryland. My son said he stood, I think it wasn't Sonic, I think it was Whataburger. He said he stood in line. They were in line for like 3 hours to get a Whataburger. And Whataburger is the truth. What a burger. But my favorite place was Culver's. It's Culvers. That is my favorite burger place. I don't like Five Guys. When they first came, it was good. And I was like, Culver's is my favorite. I can get a Swiss burger, Swiss cheese, mushrooms, sauteed onions, and these burgers are huge. I love Culver's, and it was right down the street. So I would go eat at Culver's when I wanted a burger. Is there Culver's here? Nope. No Culver's here. Damn it. So yeah, so their burgers are really, really, really good. Their ice cream and everything. Yes, they do. Yep, HEB. That I hear HEB has a new flag store. It's bigger than the other ones. Oh, Culver's started in Wisconsin. Okay, that is my favorite burger spot. I don't want no French fries. I don't need a soda. I just want that Swiss burger. And they are delicious. How far am I from Vancouver? About because I hired somebody from Vancouver, Washington, about, I'm going to say 3.5, 4 hours, I think she told me, because she drove in for when she drove in for her interview. Is there a Culver's there? I'm still waiting for them to open Popeyes here. Shit. Popeyes isn't open. Girl, once you have a Culver burger, I'm serious. I was trying to pull up their menu so you guys can see what they and the bread, the buns, Culver's menu. Their burgers are fresh as. So here's the, I have it. Here's the Swiss burger. Yep, you get the Swiss burger. Okay, here's the Swiss burger. Let me show you. And to be honest, their burgers look just like this. Look at this Swiss burger with the mushrooms, the Swiss cheese. Look at that. The cheddar butter is good too. I've had that. This is Kayla's favorite, but she didn't want the cheese on hers. So I would have to order hers without the cheese. And the reason why I like the Swiss burger, because there's no tomatoes. I don't like tomatoes on my burgers. And then I would add jalapeno peppers. And oh my God, and sauteed onions. That is the Swiss burger. I tried the sourdough melt. Culver's has the best burgers, and the bread is always fresh. Always fresh. Yes, Saltgrass is my steakhouse. No, that's the one I took you to. Yeah. I used to like Vic and Anthony's too, but I stopped liking them. And then I used to go to this other place downtown Houston. Oh, you like Slotchies? Look, see, I'm telling you, I'm waiting for them to open Popeyes. It was supposed to be open already, and I went by there not too long ago, and they're still building, probably because of the weather. See, HEB has, I heard they have another massive store. Hi, Crystal. You have a Culver's a mile from me. Oh, you're making me jealous. I'm telling you, Culver's burgers, and they're hot. And I lived across the street, so I would go get it home, and it's still hot, and I would wolf that damn thing down. That's when I really wanted a burger. That's where I would go. I don't have any Popeyes here yet. They were supposed to be building it off of Highway 2. And everybody kept telling me, Heidi, Popeyes is going up. And it tells you Popeyes Highway 2. But it's not open yet. And it keeps telling me closed, updated by other 2 weeks ago. I haven't found it. See, it was supposed to open in late 2023. And they're saying it's there. But I don't know where the hell is that because I don't see it. I don't see it. And I'm not going to Idaho. And it's showing me that Popeyes is on the map. Haven't found it. So I'm going to call them today and see exactly where the hell you at because I need to find you. But they're closed right now. They open at 10. So I'm going to keep this up so I can call to see where the hell is Popeyes at because they said that it was open and it's on Highway 2, Airway Heights. Don't see it. Can't find it. They have coupons and everything. Unless I was flying, unless I was driving too fast and I missed it. But I doubt it. And they're telling me that I can place my order online. I wonder if they can deliver it. So we have it. I just need to find it. So anyway, see, there's one in Post Falls. I'm not driving to Idaho, which is 22 minutes away from me. I don't care. Oh, you're waiting for Buc-ee's. Oh, my God. I love Buc-ee's. I miss Texas. Girl, you better go to Popeyes. Don't go to churches unless you're constipated. I'll check IG. Don't go to churches unless you're constipated. because they fry that chicken in old grease. And you can smell the old grease when you walk in there. Now, if you're constipated, go to Church's. I love Buc-ee's. I don't care. I love Buc-ee's. And then they opened Buc-ee's in Katy. So I would get 3 Buc-ee's before I would get to San Antonio. On my way to New Orleans to Louisiana, I'm stopping at the Buc-ee's right there coming out of Baytown as soon as you get into Baytown. That is my Buc-ee's spot. I'm going for coffee. I'm going for the bathroom. And then I'm good to go until I get to Lake Charles. So, yeah, now the biscuits are good. I told you guys when I used to live in Louisiana, I would go to, we would go to Popeyes. I would go to McDonald's for French fries. I would go to KFC for the coleslaw. And then I would get my biscuits from Church's. And they were right next to each other. Right on Highway 51. So that was our routine. Coleslaw from Kentucky. Biscuits from Church's. Chicken from Popeyes. And French fries from McDonald's. That's what we used to do. Yep, I took you to Buc-ee's. Yes, I did. I took Crazy Cat Mama to Buc-ee's when she came to Texas. So, what do you mean it was way too big for you? Girl, stop. Stop. Buc-ee's is just, it's the ultimate gas station. Okay. So, love you guys. Have a great day. I will see you later. I'm gonna go find me where the hell this Popeyes at. Who knows? Maybe I might drive to Idaho today. Love that chicken from Popeyes. I think I might drive to Post Falls. It's only 22 minutes. I just don't like, unless it's even just going to the mall. To me, it's 13 minutes too long. Okay, I'm used to shit right there. 5 minutes up the street, I'm at this big ass mall. So, Saltgrass is your favorite steakhouse. I get the ribeye. I either get the 14 or the 16 ounce. It depends. So I like the Saltgrass on 59. Right before you get to Kingwood. Damn it, Mandy, I got your stuff too, so I'm going to check that out. But I would definitely, I would definitely talk to you guys later. You guys have a great, great day. And the banana pudding, oh girl, I love their all beef hot dogs. I'm telling you, on my way to San Antonio, I will stop and get their all beef hot dogs. When I'm on my way to New Orleans, I'm going to get that roasted chicken salad they have. Oh my God, that's so good. So I have certain things I eat at certain ones. Take care. Beans is always great. Take care, everybody. You guys have a great, great day. I love you. And I will see you for sure on Thursday this week. Well, Wednesday for sure. And then probably on Thursday too. This week is going to be busy. I'm contemplating whether I'm going to work from home or in the office because I rarely don't want to go in the office. Only the weather will help me tomorrow. So I'm praying we get snow and I don't have to go. Well, I don't have to go in anyway, but I haven't been in the office since Monday of last week. Oh, you like going to Market Square in San Antonio? Oh my God. We have one here too. What I miss is Foca de Chao. Now I know there are other Brazilian steakhouses, but my favorite is Foca de Chao in San Antonio. I like the one they have in Dallas as well. And when I go to Vegas, I like Texas de Brazil. So I love those. But I like Foca de Chao. But love you guys. See, y'all making me hungry. And I'm trying to think, what can I eat? Before I have to leave, I need to eat something. Now I'm hungry because I really didn't eat yesterday. I will talk to you later. I have to get ready for Savage because I need to be in chat or she will fire me this time because I missed her whole live last week. So, damn it, Mandy, you're in San Antonio. Well, I shouldn't ask you that. Okay, so, but yeah, you're in San Antonio. Oh my God, I miss real Mexican food too. Savage Live is at 9:30 my time, 11:30 Central, 12:30 Eastern. So I will see you all in Savage's Live. I gotta be ready. I bribed her with some milk duds, and I bribed her with the milk duds, and I still didn't make the live. So love you guys. I will see you later. Bye.